Variety of glands. They are classified as either exocrine or endocrine glands. Exocrine glands are connected to the surface epithelium by excretory ducts into which they secrete their secretion into the external surface. In contrast, endocrine glands lost their connection with the surface epithelium and secrete their secretion directly into the capillaries in the connective tissue that surrounds them. First slide is a section in the large intestine. We can see first example of exocrine gland, simple tubular glands. Intestinal glands are simple tubular glands. The lining epithelium of the intestinal gland, similar to the surface epithelium. Intestinal gland lined with simple columnar epithelium, similar to that of the surface epithelium. At higher magnification, we can see a unicellular gland, also called goblet cell, a mucus secreting cell found in the epithelium of the small and large intestine and in the epithelium of respiratory airways. Goblet cell, unicellular gland, mucus secreting cell. Simple tubular glands, intestinal glands, epithelium, simple columnar epithelium with goblet cells. Second slide is a section in the skin.
بس دكتورة شو ما يستبيناتن كان الشاب ممكن
شنو؟
هذين السلايد
يعني شو تريد
هاي
تميز؟
الجوبل سيل والقلب كان حلو الشاب
اي الجوبلت سيل تصير اوفال ان شيب، يعني شكلها بيضوي وتكون فاتحه لانه ماده الميوكس ما تنصبغ بالتحضيرات المجهريه فتظهر لونها فاتحه. يعني شلون شو تريد تميز؟ هي الانتستينال جلاندز تكون سمبل تيوبولار جلاندز، اللايننج ابيثيليوم يكون سمبل كولومينر، بيناتها اكو جوبلت سيلز.
هذين صغار
اي صايره هيك بيضاويه. هسه نعطيك السلايد يعني ورا ما تخلص.
بالي كلها هاي جوبل
هي هو لانه لارج انتستين الموست ابندنت يعني هي راح تكون الجوبلت سيل، يعني حتى تشوفها انه هي يعني تقريبا السلايد كلها جوبلت سيلز. اوكي، بس بالسمول انتستين راح تشوفها متفرقه. اذا اكو سلايد السمول انتستين يعني عددها اقل، باللارج انتستين تكون موست ابندنت يعني سيل. يعني تمام، بس انت شفتها كانه كلها جوبلت سيل، صحيح؟ هي موست ابندنت. بس يعني كثيوري انه يعني من ضمن الابيثيليوم اللي يكون الجلاند موجوده الجوبلت سيل. هذا سلايد سمول حشوفك الفرق. هذا السلايد اخذناه الاسبوع السابق بالجوجينم سمول انتستين. ايضا هذه intestinal glands تلاحظوها، هذه اللايننج ابيثيليوم هنا اكثر شيء سمبل كولومينر ابيثيليوم، بس يحتوي على عدد من الجوبلت سيل هذه، يعني اقل. تلاحظها هذه، واضح؟ فهذه الابيثيليال لايننج اللي هو سمبل كولومينر بيناتها نشوف الجوبلت سيلز، واضحه؟ عكس ذاك السلايد، ذاك كانت الجوبلت سيل نسبتها اكثر. تمام، واضحه هسه؟ تمام. Second slide, section in the skin, thick skin from palm or sole. We can see the epidermis of the skin. Beneath the epidermis is the dermis of the skin, a layer of connective tissue. Within the dermis, we can see another example of exocrine gland, the sweaty gland. The sweaty gland is simple coiled tubular gland. Simple coiled tubular gland. Each exocrine gland consists of two portions, secretory portion and duct portion. This is secretory portion of a sweaty gland. And this is the duct portion. Duct portion is lined with stratified cuboidal epithelium and appear directly stained structure. Secretory portion هذا الدكت أكبر الكيار واضح؟ stratified cuboidal epithelium, two layers of cuboidal cells. duct portion هذا secretory portion يظهر انه يكون لونه فاتح lightly staining structure. The duct portion lining epithelium stratified cuboidal and directly stained structure. At the tip of the pointer we can see a specific or modified epithelial cells called myoepithelial cell. تمام? This is about the sweaty gland. Simple called the tubular gland. تمام؟ We have three types of salivary glands. First one is the submaxillary or submandibular gland. Each gland is covered by connective tissue capsule. Sand septa divide the gland into lobules. Septa of connective tissue divide the gland into lobules. The submaxillary gland is a branched tubulo-acinar gland. Branched tubulo-acinar gland. It is a mixed gland. Contain both serous and mucous secretory cells. It is a mixed gland, consists of serous and mucous secretory cells. At higher magnification, we can see the serous cells. Serous cells are pyramidal in shape with spherical or rounded centrally placed nuclei. Serous cells are arranged in spherical structures called an acinus. So at the tip of the pointer we can see serous acinus. This is serous acinus consisting of serous cells. In this gland, the serous cells are predominate, but with many seromucous secretory cells. This is serous acinus, and this is a mucus secretory unit. It consists of mucus cells. Mucus cells are more columnar in shape with basally located nuclei. Mucus cells organized as a cylindrical tubule rather than acini. This is a mucus secretory unit, and this is serous secretory unit. Serous acinus mucus tubule. تمام؟ السرس عادة يكون لونه أغمق directly staining structure, and the mucus is lightly staining structure. Serous cells secrete enzymes and other proteins, while the mucus secretory unit secrete mucus for lubricating or protective properties. تمام؟ واضح الفرق بين السرس والميوكس؟ لحد الآن أوكي؟ عندكم سؤال؟ This structure is called serous diminuum. It consists of mucus capped by crescent-shaped groups of serous cells. Mucus with crescent-shaped serous cells. لاحظوها تترتب بشكل السرس ديميلون هو عبارة عن ميوكاس. هيدا تلاحظوها المنطقة الفاتحة على يعني at the periphery على الخارج groups of serous cells تترتب بشكل كب. تمام؟ ويكون شكلها crescent shape. هذا الستركتشر كاملة نسميه سرس ديميلون. هو عبارة عن mixed سرس and mucus. تمام؟
زين هذاك اللي على اليسار همين؟
هذه كلها سرس. سرس.
اللي على اليسار
هذا؟
لا.
هذني بعدين نشرحها. هذه داكت. هسه احنا بس نفهمكم عرفتوا الفرق بين السرس والميوكاس. تمام؟ والسرس ديميلون. This is about the secretory units. هذه واضحة طلاب. هذه سرس ديميلون mucus capped by serous cells. This is a mucus tubule, and these are serous acini. Secretory units empty into the duct system. Starts with the intercalated duct. Intercalated duct is the smallest duct lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. أشوف لكم واحدة واضحة جدا typical. Intercalated ducts, several of them are joined to form another intralobular duct called the striated duct. This is striated duct. The lining epithelium is columnar epithelium. These columnar cells have mitochondria, numerous mitochondria aligned with basolateral membrane foldings, forming the basal striation, radiating from the basement membrane toward the nuclei. So this is a striated duct characterized by the presence of basal striation. Intralobular ducts converge and drain into the interlobular or excretory ducts. The lining epithelium is unusual. It is stratified cuboidal or columnar, sometimes pseudostratified, surrounded by connective tissue layers. نعم. لا هذه interlobular. intercalated ما طلعت لي واضحة، أشوف لكم إياها بالسلايد الثاني. interlobular. شلون نميز الانترلوبيولار؟ انه found between the lobules and surrounded by connective tissue layers. اللايننج epithelium يكون stratified. راح اكبر لكم اياه حتى تميزون الابيثيليوم. stratified epithelium surrounded by connective tissue layers. interlobular. الانترالوبيولار يعني من تسميتها هي found within the lobule اللي هي الانتركاليتد والسترايتد duct. تمام؟ Which type of duct؟ هذه شنو اسمها؟ striated duct. تلاحظون هذه الخطوط؟ هذه striated duct. basal striation. This is the intercalated duct, which is the smallest duct lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. It has a central small lumen. Intercalated duct, which is the smallest duct. هذه اللي بجانبها striated duct.
والابيثيليوم مالتها كولومنر مو؟
أي columnar. الانتركاليتد cuboidal striated columnar. يعني شنو قصدك؟ إيه صح. This slide is a section in the sublingual gland. Sublingual gland is a branched tubulo-acinar gland. It also has both serous and mucous secretory cells, but we can see the mucous cells are predominant, with a few serous diminuis. can see the mucus tubules. Each consists of mucus cells. مثل ما تلاحظون انه هي نسبة الميوكس اكثر. Mucus tubule consists of mucus cells with basally located nuclei. At the tip of the pointer, we can see the intercalated duct, simple cuboidal epithelium surrounding a small lumen. This is striated duct. It has basal striation. Which type of duct is this? Interlobular duct. Stratified epithelium surrounded by connective tissue layers. It found between the lobules. This structure is the serous demilume, mucus capped by serous cells. Serous demilume, mucus cells capped by crescent-shaped serous cells. This is another interlobular duct, stratified epithelium with connective tissue layers. Third type of salivary gland is the parotid gland. Parotid gland is compound acinar gland. It's completely serous. Serous acini. This is intercalated duct, smallest duct, lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. This is striated duct. We can see basal striation. Both intercalated and striated ducts are called intralobular ducts. This is interlobular duct, stratified epithelium and connective tissue layers. Parotid gland is a branched acinar gland or compound acinar gland. Consists only of serous acini. The serous cells secrete which type of secretion?
بروتين
ايش؟
بروتين.
ايش هي الانزيمز تفرزها حسب اذا انتم قارين النظر يعني؟ الفا اميليز and lysozyme. ما ماخذيها؟ بعدكم مقارين؟
لا
موجودة بالمحاضرة؟
بس بروتين.
هو الاميليز هيدروليسيس للكربوهيدرات وبالاضافه الى انه هو انتي مايكروبيال ايجنت. الالفا اميليز واللايسوزايم. This slide is section in the pancreas. The pancreas is an elongated organ. It is mixed exocrine and endocrine gland. In the center we can see the major pancreatic duct. This is major pancreatic duct. The lining epithelium is pseudostratified columnar epithelium surrounded by connective tissue layers. Pseudostratified columnar epithelium and connective tissue. The exocrine portion of the pancreas is a compound acinar gland similar to the parotid gland. We can see serous acini. This is the exocrine portion of the pancreas. This part secretes digestive enzymes. Exocrine portion of the pancreas, compound acinar gland. We can see the serous acini. Intercalated ducts. The pancreas differ from the parotid gland. The compound acinar gland of the pancreas is devoid of striated duct. Absence of striated duct. يعني هو مشابه للباروتيد هي compound serous لكن لا يحتوي على striated duct. واضح الفرق؟ This structure is the endocrine portion of the pancreas. It is called islet of Langerhans. Lightly staining area. At higher magnification, we can see the endocrine portion of the pancreas. Okay. واضح؟ This is the endocrine portion of pancreas, islet of Langerhans. اللي حوله هو كله serous acini اللي هو الاكسوكراين portion. تمام. الدكت portion هو مشابه فقط انه سترايتد duct غير موجوده. Last slide section in the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is an example of endocrine gland. The secretory cells or the parenchyma of the thyroid gland are arranged in spherical structures or rounded structures called the thyroid follicles. Each follicle is lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. The lumen of each follicle is filled with gelatinous substance called the colloid, which is the thyroglobulin, an active form of the thyroid hormones. Thyroid follicles, each follicle is lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. In the center we can see acidophilic gelatinous material called the colloid or thyroglobulin. All slides of this lab are stained by hematoxylin and eosin. عندكم سلايد ما واضح يحتاج أعيده؟ أعيده؟ Okay. Thyroid gland. the parenchyma or secretory cells of thyroid gland are arranged in spherical structures called the thyroid follicles. Each follicle or each spherical structure is lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. In the center of each follicle, we can see a pseudophilic substance called thyroglobulin or colloid. تمام؟ colloid هي بالحقيقة الثايروغلوبولين يعتبر an active form of thyroid hormones, precursor for thyroid hormones. سلايد آخر تردون أعيد لكم إياه.